The next Ray Lewis, I think we need to pump the brakes just a little bit.
We better do. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope it's having a I can't talk today. Having a fantastic day today. Hope everyone's enjoying their work week. I hope everyone enjoys their weekend this weekend. Definitely some things I want to talk about here regarding a couple players, and one is Nakobe Dean. Ray Didinger, obviously been around the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time, and gave his insight on just Nakobe Dean in general, what he sees from him, and it was kind of surprising. And Ray is, he's been around a long time, and he doesn't hold back from telling the truth. I've always liked his takes over the years. I mean, for a lot of years, just always liked his takes. So what he had to say about Nakobe Dean. So he said, if he reminds me of someone, it's Ray Lewis. I'm not going to, nor do I mean to compare Dean to Lewis, an all-time Hall of Famer, but by the way Dean plays, how instinctive he is, how he commands, that's what he reminds me of, Ray Lewis. Interesting enough, I don't like to go off the deep end and talk about players being all-time greats. I never do that. I never, ever do that. As much as the most I'll say is he'll be a Hall of Famer one day. I never compare players to other players, especially Hall of Famers like that. And you know what? I kind of see it. I totally get it. But, we just had a small sample size from Dean last year. Okay. He got into some games when, we were up by multiple touchdowns. He got to play a little bit of defense here and there, and he played mostly special teams last year. Okay. As a third round pick, I think Nakobe Dean going into this year, and hence why the Eagles didn't go crazy at linebacker besides, signing Nicholas Morrow, because they already knew they had Nakobe Dean going into this season. Okay. He was a sponge in the linebacker room with Nick Rallis, the linebacker coach last year. Okay. He didn't really mind sitting in the room and really just taking everything in and learning as he was going. I mean, trust me, I wasn't a big fan of the linebackers as much as I didn't mind TJ Edwards. I don't think Kaiser White was playing that well last year. It kind of felt like he fell off, and I felt like maybe Nakobe Dean should have had a little bit of a shot. He had a lot of experience in front of him, and so they didn't. If they didn't pick up, Kaiser White or something like that, Nakobe Dean probably would have played last year, but they felt like they really needed to load up at linebacker, which I had no problem with. But I just felt like he should have played in a game or two. It just got more of a shot last year, and now he is a full-time starter this year, and we're going to see what Nakobe Dean is going to do. And I felt like he's got leadership, he's got presence, and I think he holds players accountable. I think he will be a leader as time goes on a little bit. And hopefully we see the guy that he's an engineering. He went to college for engineering. The kid's smart. The kid's bright. There's a lot. Even getting drafted in the third round, like I said, I just felt like there's just he was pissed off. I think he was real. I mean, who doesn't want to be? Obviously when you get drafted in the third round to the first round, you're losing a lot of money. You lost a lot of money. Could have made a lot more money for, with the Philadelphia Eagles. But now as a third round pick coming in and now going into his second year with the team as a full-time starter, at least just for this year, I feel like he's going to hold a lot of guys accountable and hold himself very, more accountable. He's got a championship mentality. I mean, that's, Georgia won, the national championships, what they've done, just the culture is just so different from getting players from that school. And we know when we got him in the third round, we knew we were getting something. Now, no matter what happened in the draft where he went down because of all these injuries that occurred, all these, fake reports that were coming out that he was, he had issues with injuries. And yeah, I guess that's what really, made him fall. And the Eagles were able to grab him. And I'm telling you right now, if he becomes an ultimate steal, I'll be very happy. Of course, when you talk about every player that you draft, you want them to become all-time greats. But we have to obviously be realistic with this. With Nakobe Dean, I feel like, yes, he can be an all-time great. There's no doubt. But I can't go into this season without seeing anything, especially with Sean Desai, our new defensive coordinator, what's going to happen here. You know what I mean? I think what depends on the Nakobe Dean success and a lot of the other guys' success really relies on this defensive coordinator to put these guys in the right spots to win football games, and being used the right way is going to be a huge thing this year, which I feel good about Sean Desai. I feel good about these players on defense. I feel like they should add another, maybe a couple guys, 4 open roster spots for the Eagles on defense right now. I think they're being very patient. I think they're taking their time, and obviously they're looking around for trades or signing free agents that are really still out there right now. But I don't want to call Nakobe Dean really. I don't want to call him anything. College is college at the end of the day. What he did was fantastic. I think he is a field general. I think he can really command this defense. I feel like due time, he's going to be something in Philadelphia. I think the Eagles will actually pay a linebacker big money sooner or later. What depends what he does these next, 3 years, what Nakobe Dean does. So, I was happy about the comments from Ray, but I'm not going to, compare him to Ray Lewis. I think he has, like I said, I think he has that leadership. I think he has that excitement. I think he's got that gravitational ability to, kind of gravitate those players towards him and look up to him in the defense. I think he'll earn that respect due time as they play, game to game. And I think, he'll be a big, important player and could be playing on this team for years to come. And I'm really excited. I really am. But like I said, I can't put all my eggs in one basket and say he's going to have over 100 tackles. And he's going to, I feel like it's going to happen, but because of my heart, my conscience, I need to see everything. Okay, what he did last year, I just wanted him to play so bad. What he did in that Titans game, what he did in a few of those games when it came to coverage and tackling, and what he did, that one-arm tackle on Derrick Henry and some of the coverage that he, coverage deflections that he had and some of the tackles that he had. Even last year in preseason, my God, he was depleting fullbacks off, just depleting them off of the field. I mean, it was just amazing what he could do. And, I can't wait to see more of it. Can't wait. Now with another full offseason with the Eagles, and the Eagles are in dire need, because you better hope Nakobe Dean works out, because if he doesn't, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in big trouble because I don't know what Nicholas Morrow is going to bring to the table, and really is Davion Taylor going to be healthy? I mean, what else is back there? The weakest position on defense is linebacker. There's no doubt about it, especially depth behind it too. It's really bad. So we'll just wait and see what happens, but not going to compare him. But man, I am praying, man, that he works out so well. I have a good gut feeling. I wouldn't lie to you. If I felt like there was something wrong with this, or I just felt like uneasy about it, I would tell you. But I feel really good about Nakobe Dean from this year and for the future of this team, especially at that position where we don't pay anybody nothing. That's a big deal. Now, roster bubbles. Now, there's been rumors about a roster bubble. Who is right on the edge of that roster bubble right now, and could be maybe cut off this team permanently, could be Greg Ward. Unfortunately, Greg Ward's been cut off this team, 4 or 5 times. I mean, can play inside, outside receiver. Greg Ward has always been one of the reliable receivers that we had. I think he's actually the oldest receiver that we have right now. I felt like this was another situation where Doug just liked him a lot. Doug utilized him a lot more. Back in 2019 when, Greg Ward caught that touchdown pass in that Washington game, we had 1 month to win out all of our games to win the division or to get into the playoffs. And we did, you know what I mean? We did that year, and Carson Wentz put the team on his back with no receivers, off the street guys. And Greg Ward was like the big hero of that season. I've always thought that even when he was playing in 2021, even that Green Bay game when when Carson got benched and Jalen Hurts came in and threw an easy touchdown to him, I thought Greg Ward just, I don't know. I don't think he's a bad player. I just feel like Nick likes his type of receivers. Obviously before getting Devontae Smith, before trading for A.J. Brown, we had nobody. I mean, between J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, between Jalen Reagor, that became a total flop, and Greg Ward was really the only receiver that was so reliable for, the last few years, for the past years. And, he was always cut off the team. He was never really given a chance. And when he was given that chance, he really showed up. So I don't know if there's going to be room for him, because really at the end of the day, if you're going to be keeping Quez, you're going to be keeping Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Alamadi Zaccheaus, Britton Covey, I mean, you're down to that's 5 guys. I mean, you might be keeping maybe 6 receivers this year. Maybe they'll keep Joseph Nagata. Maybe they'll keep a Jaden Hazelwood. Maybe Charleston Rambo. Maybe they'll like somebody else more than, I feel like Nick really did change a lot of things after Doug left. I mean, yes. I mean, we have been in the playoffs, the past couple years. We've had a Super Bowl appearance last year. Just like I feel like Miles Sanders was Doug's running back and utilized him a lot better than what Nick did. Didn't really put him in the passing game. Didn't really do too much with him. I feel like Greg Ward was almost the same way. I feel like after Doug left, it's like Nick just kind of cut him off and didn't really like Greg Ward too much or the usage of him in this offense, because I think Greg Ward is still a good player. I think he's got reliable hands. I feel like, he's not the fastest guy, but man, put him in the slot. Guy can make catches. Guy can get separation. He can do it. He can get that separation. You can have all the speed in the world, but I'm telling you, he's very good at separation. Kind of like Zach Ertz for years, not the fastest tight end you'd have, but the man can get separation in a lot of different ways, and he's very good at it. So I feel like as of right now, I mean, this could be a big time cut. And I know another team would sign him immediately. There's no doubt about it. But, as an older receiver right now, and he's still in his prime years in football now. So could definitely still contribute to a football team, no doubt. But, this was a guy that was a starter for us when we didn't have receivers to a high standard at the time. And we didn't have any explosive, we didn't have an offense or at least receivers where defenses would look at us, or just fans in general look at our offense and be real fearful of us. I feel like now it's a totally different story. What we went for, just be very grateful what we came from to now where we are. I mean, it's when you have a GM that is very aggressive and makes moves, and this is what happens. But even if Greg Ward doesn't start, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Greg Ward used to be a punt returner for us, and we wasn't really a big deal. We really didn't like that. And once Rager got to punt returns, Michael Clay kept them on there ever since, and we just didn't know why, and we were having issues with that for a long time. So, see what happens here. Greg Ward gets his last shot to see if he even makes a roster spot or does something here. It would be amazing. But this could be, I think he's a big roster bubble. I think there's been some news kind of claiming that, Nick might take chances on guys that have familiarity with Hurts, guys that played with Hurts. Jaden Hazelwood and Charleston Rambo have played with Jalen Hurts before, whether it was at Alabama or obviously was at Oklahoma. So, past guys that have been there, so it's already there. But let me know what you guys think. Obviously, if you guys lasted this long in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. Cover the Eagles every single day. What do you guys think about, obviously, Nakobe Dean? Are you getting too hyped up for it, or do you think he's already going to be good? Are you pumping the brakes a little bit and just taking it day by day of what Nakobe Dean is going to do? I feel really good about him, but like I said, I got to see it. And how do you guys feel about Greg Ward, possibly, being on the roster bubble? How many receivers do you think the Eagles are going to keep this year? So should be really interesting. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys on the next one. You guys have a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you guys. Shake Squad up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.